Okay, everybody, I've actually got the sound on now. So, of course, welcome along to the community news program of number 10, which is episode number 10 here. Massive welcome to the show. And I'm waving to that camera over there. And of course, yes, it's nice to be here for this afternoon here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to break between some of the episodes here to give you a little bit of a break and some music in the background here, which is this in the background that I'll be playing you. Calming and relaxing, isn't it? So anyway, of course, that will be playing during the kind of like a break in between what I'm going to be talking about today. We'll start with, of course, the Waverley Hotel of Great Yarmouth, which, of course, is one of the hotels that I actually stayed with. So we're going to give you a sample of that in the show. And, of course, we're going to go directly to my nice and relaxing kind of show, which was recently, and it was the other day, in actual fact. It was, I believe, it was on a Sunday evening. And of course, it was quite nice to hear relaxing music. And by the way, of course, because we're streaming on StreamYard, which means, of course, it is just going to be the sound of mono. For some reason, it only comes out in mono, and you don't get the full surround sound effect. So, yeah, I do apologize about that. Yeah, you don't get the full sound, which is the left and right thing, the surround sound fully effective on StreamYard. For some reason, I do not know why. But of course, you will see it in full at some point. Maybe I'll put it on, put it on the channel, basically. So, massive hello to you. Let's sort this camera out here. It's absolutely doing my nutting at the moment. But yeah, also coming up in the show, of course, I can't wait to play it. Of course, Julian, for the first time, as in Giuliani Buzz, will be showcasing his room. Yes, his room here of course, the St George Hotel of Great Yarmouth. All from different dates here, and you'll see what the dates are when we take a look at this. Let's have a look here at, of course, the first video, which comes from, yes, the Waverley Hotel in Great Yarmouth. Let's have a look at this. With Nixie, which is now, which launched on the 1st of June 2025. I'm from this date, Monday, the 9th of June 2025, and these video clips here of what we done recently about a few weeks ago now, and I can say that it is definitely worth a 2-night stay, which I did here on part of touring with Nick C, and of course I am just purely on my own on this channel at the moment, but of course I do have a helping hand from time to time, different shows and all those kind of things. But of course the main point is that we need to focus on this video here, and it is definitely well worth a night's stay, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the program. Have a look at this. So the room was a 210, and of course you can see a little bit of my radio that I had with the actual room itself, and of course it says please don't leave any basic valuables in the actual room, including cash as well. And of course strictly no smoking on the spot. Fine of £250 for that one. I don't really like to attempt to sort of do that, but of course we're going to take a look at the bathroom in just a bit. So yeah, that was a little bit of the cupboard there. You can see the single bed just to the right there, and it did have in the below section of a cupboard there was the Bible, and of course I've actually got the leaflet here which shows you the room number here, and of course enjoy your stay with us, which was quite nice. I've got my extra milk to go with it there. You can see the Bible inside there, and it's got, which I didn't really use very often, I actually used the Bible as well, but of course there was a hairdryer which was well worth checking out, and that's the radio down on the floor there, and that's the bedside lamp there. And of course we're going to take a look at the actual, I would say, the bathroom now. Are you ready to have a look? Oh, actually we've got to turn the light off first, and of course that's what it looks like in that sort of hallway here, which was quite tight, I seem to remember actually, and there's another sort of entrance down there. So we enter into the bathroom of this particular hotel, which is quite actually looking great, doesn't it? As you can see there's the toilet, not that you want to know that, but of course just interesting to know. And there is actually a towel rail there, and of course you've got even a shower there, and you did actually spot that there was a radiator in there. And how many people can you get in that shower, I wonder? It's a little bit steamy in there, as you can see. And please turn off the tap. Do you know what? Of course, turning off the tap saves the environment, apparently. And of course, all these notices that you see in these hotels are really fascinating, because, you know, you sort of learn it for your own home at home, if you know what I mean. So when you're at home, and at home at the same time, then you sort of get an idea of the kind of things to learn from when you go out on hotels. You always notice more new things, basically. And there's the loo roll there, and plenty of loo roll there. And of course, yeah, how many people can you actually get in there? And this is the way you actually twist the shower. You can turn it from left to right and in the center if you want the hot and cold at the same time, and that is the way to do it. And you can push it out to make the shower goes a little bit faster. I'm just demonstrating there, although you're not hearing much sound on it. So yeah, there it is in zoom up mode here. Fascinating here. I'm only doing this for the purpose of this video here. And how many people can you get in that shower? We might ask ourselves here. And this is the view from the top here. Not very good a view, but of course it's the best I could have done here. But of course, yeah, conserve water. So basically you're saving the water environment by turning off all the taps here. And you've got your soap, well, your shower kind of soap. It looks very similar, doesn't it? Of course, to the bottle that was on the sink. It's all a bit of observation there, if you've actually noticed anything there. But yeah, there's a fan distractor there. Oh, what's happened there? Actually, of course I turned the lights off, but that did scare you for a second. Well, what do you see there, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, we see a blank screen, but that is exactly what it looks like with no light on in the actual room. So in just a moment, the lights will switch on. Here you can see my camera not picking up much light, but it looks like there's a white anomaly in there, but it's actually not. It's actually me turning on the bedside lamp there. Yes, another look at that Holy Bible there. You can see it in close detail there, and the hairdryer and the radio, which I did actually use, which was quite nice. and also the kettle, which I'm giving you a close-up of there. And I mostly drank all the coffee there in this black cup here, which is quite unusual. Sorry, I was going to say it's usual, but of course I have not seen a black cup literally in a hotel. But there was a phone there, and of course a nice picture of Rose just above the bedboard there, and of course not greatest of view, but it was okay to see the blue sky there, but you can't complain. But yeah, a big wardrobe where it's got a spacious sort of area where you can put your luggage in, and please knock on the door tag there, which you can put on your door. 210, which was the number of the room that I particularly had. So that's the main door there, you can see it clearly for yourself there. And this is how you actually enter the room, with one of these card keys, and of course the light shows up when it's connected to the right room. So they usually give you the key at the reception. So yeah, you can see my little bit of a struggle to get up on most of these stairs, but lovely painting by the way, whilst we are waiting for me to get up those stairs here. And of course you can see the sign to the lift and the sign to the exit, but it's actually of course a fire door only. And of course, yeah, there's a window out there, and of course there's no turning back. So yeah, you've got to keep that door closed at all times. Fire exit is pointing towards the opposite direction. And of course these are the steps here. And I remember of course when I came out of this hotel, I remember some people left a load of cleaning stuff there. I don't know if it was the cleaners or something like that, I don't know, but of course it wasn't as clear as this, by the way. And you can hear I'm actually struggling to get my suitcase up, and that is a problem when you've got a suitcase like that. And well, it just could be a problem. You got the fire extinguisher there, or extinguisher. But of course I did eventually make it up the stairs here, 209 to 214 there, and the fire safety board there, and you could see it there. Very sort of retro style there, and it's got a suggestions email there. I don't know what that star mirror is there. I don't know who that is in the mirror. Oh, it's a little bit of a wave from me on my camera. That's really, really cool. This is the old-fashioned lift here, and of course it's got dear guest here. So yeah, if you needed any help, contact the reception. Basically, you press the button for the lift. I got confused about the actual lift here, and it's confusing about that mirror. If you want to tell me why there's a mirror next to a lift, I haven't the faintest idea, but if anyone wants to tell me in the comments, feel free to do so. So yeah, it's an old-fashioned style lift here. You open the door and wow, you've got mirrors each way. It's almost like a magic circle. It really, really is. And you close the door, and of course you'll see the view that we've got here. And of course it's got all the guest valuables here, and the roles of the management of the hotel. And of course you can see how many floors it's got, pretty much. Usually tells you on some hotels how many rooms they've got, but you can see the actual lift going down now. It's quite actually fascinating to go way down. It's quite a weird lift. You just push it open. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the actual lift there. Of course I brought my own water. They didn't actually provide any extra water. I brought my own water at that time. So yeah, you could see of course a little bit of the condiments, like of course I would say tea and coffee there, and of course the cup was like that at the start as soon as I walked into the room. It was room number 210, and that is quite fascinating to know and to remember next time. There's a pad of paper that I could take with me, and of course I had to change the actual pen of the Waverley Hotel because it was bit leaky. It was a bit leaky, so of course I had to go downstairs and change it for another pen. So eventually they did kindly change it over. But what I will say this, it's quite rare to have a, I would say, one of those phones in a room which you can choose to have a wake-up call, which is quite fascinating to know. But anyway, let's give me a chance to have a think about how I felt it was for me. Oh yes, my mind has gone so quickly in thinking of what I thought of that Waverley Hotel, which I can now reveal. But like I say, it was fascinating sort of venue to go to, and of course it is run by European people, so just bear that in mind, and nothing against that of course whatsoever. But what I will say is that I'll give you a rate out of 10 for my night stay, and it was me that stayed 2 nights, Saturday the 17th and then coming back on Monday the 19th of May 2025. It was very fascinating to try it out for the first time. It did have lifts in it, as it said on booking.com, and the price was ranging from around about £30 to £35 at the very, very latest. And of course it wasn't too bad for the price, and of course, although it didn't have a sort of refrigerator or microwave or anything like that, it still had a good spacious area for me to do a certain amount of stuff on it. It didn't have that big space for a desk thing like, of course, a laptop or anything like that. The TV didn't work, by the way, which was actually tried, and of course the remote control I could turn on, but of course there was no channels whatsoever, so that was a little bit of a blow there. But of course the wardrobe was big enough for my actual suitcase, especially a big one if you wanted to have one. And the Holy Bible, which is a brilliant thing to have in a hotel, by the way, and I did read a few segments of that, but I couldn't read the whole book because it goes from, you know, the beginning right away through to the end. It's so many dozens of pages. You've got to take years and years to read it and to fully understand it as well at the same time. But of course it was mostly a good read. But yeah, something that I did note about the Holy Bible, which of course was that particular book, I would say this now. It said it was a thing at the beginning of the Bible. It actually said, God said that, of course, a relationship is between a man and a woman. That's what it said at the beginning of the actual Bible. So that is fascinating to know about that. Fascinating room. I'm going to give it a mark out of 10. I'll say anything between 7 and 8 out of 10 for me for the first time. The lift was a bit weird, but of course, at least they had one. And you have to push the door out to get the door open when it reached its destination. You basically have to push it out. It's one of them kind of ones, and pull it out opposite direction. So yeah, that's basically that on that note there. And of course, it was quite a nice welcome. So yeah, just a couple of signings of paper kind of thing, which means of course you've got to show ID when you go to certain hotels, just in case they think you might be one of those illegals. But of course, yeah, apart from that, yeah, 7 or 8 out of 10 I would say. It's not bad. Could have been a bit more with refrigerators or something like that, or maybe of course a microwave or something like that, or maybe a bottle of water would have been nice. But yeah, not every hotel does it. But yeah, didn't even give me a fan either or something like that. So there's a couple of things that are wrong. So I would actually go for 7 out of 10 on my visit on that occasion. Let us know in the comments what you think, if you think better than me, and have you ever visited the place? let me know in the comments. So as always, if you'd like to, of course, hit that thumbs up button, so of course that really boosts our audience sort of, you know, way of producing the videos to you. And when we say audience, of course, it helps of course other people be aware of our videos that we produce. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense than what I said just a second ago. But of course, yeah, basically it boosts it to our fans and all that kind of thing. So yeah, if you have any questions about our videos here in a constructive way, feel free to leave us a comment here in a proud sort of way, so that everybody could actually, of course, have a look at these hotels, and then of course maybe you want to visit them yourself at some stage. But it has been Nick C here from my date, which is Monday the 9th of June 2025. So thank you very much indeed for watching, and do take care. And until the next video, of course, we will hopefully cater you with a community feel sense. See you next time. Okay, of course. Welcome along, and welcome to back to the, of course. I would say the community news with Nick C here, and it is episode number 11 here. If you're watching on replay, massive hello to you, and of course, I just wanted to share this with you if I can. Um, yeah, yeah, there you go. Of course, it's on the ticker selection here, and of course, yeah, GoFundMe link here, and of course the PayPal link if you want to support the channel here, and copy and paste the link to donate if you're interested in donating for the upkeep of the channel. So yeah, I'll put that up on the screen a little bit later on in the program here. I'm going to try and keep you up to date with, of course, some either latest news or, of course, any news in terms of events that are coming up. So, of course, looking forward to telling you some events, and of course, we'll be going towards the music of the Nice and Relaxing show very shortly. We'll give you some samples of that. We won't play you all of it because it will take you too long to actually go through it all. So, yeah, you can watch it in full in stereo at another video if you're interested in having a listen. And also, of course, Giuliani Buzz shows you his room of number 3 of the St. George Hotel of Great Yarmouth. Fascinating stuff to watch here on this only channel of community news with Nick C here. And thank you very much for joining us here. If you do want to be a guest on the show, feel free to come on as a guest. And you need to, of course, see the link, whether you're on WhatsApp, Facebook, or anything like that, as long as you see the link and just click the link, and it is safe link, and you can actually then request to join as a guest on the show. It'd be marvelous to have the very first outsider guest, other than Martha, as we call her now, known as Span the Brain number 1, and of course known as Nicole. But of course, yeah, we should continue by doing some community stuff here. And I just want to mention about the Edge Cafe, which are holding an actual event in the beginning of June, I believe. So, yeah, at the Edge Cafe. Let's have a look at the Edge Cafe. Yeah, because there's a lot of course, things that have been sort of posted on that group. That was my former place that I did volunteering as a pot washer many, many years ago. Well, a few years back now. The Edge Summer Fair, which is taking place Saturday, the 5th of July, not June, sorry. So, yeah, that's 2025 here, and it is a barbecue jumbo sale, craft stalls, music, and so on. Get yourself a free ticket for that. Plenty of tickets still left there. Communities Cafe, as in communities cafes with a cause, serving those in need by serving you, according to the Edge Cafe. And there's a picture right here of course, the manager of the Edge here, if you can see that very well. That's Sarah in the middle, by the way, if you can see that very well. It's a bit blurred, but of course, we can just about make it out. If I can show you a little bit more clearer now. Is that clearer? I don't know what is if it's not clear. She's the one in the middle, basically. So, yeah, basically, it's situated at 351 Mill Road, Brooksfield Hospital side, Cambridge CB1 3DF. That's the address. And of course, there's a Fulbourn Resource Centre, Fulbourn Hospital site, Cambridge at CB 21SEF is the address for that. So that's the Edge Cafe, based in Mill Road, the main one, the communities cafes with a cause, serving those in need by serving you. Absolutely brilliant. So there you go. So what is the other thing to note about the Summer Fair, which of course is situated on Saturday, the 5th of July, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m., by the way. And of course, if you can donate items for the jumble sale or would like to have a craft store, please contact Gail at theedgecafe.com. And the number to ring for that one is 07848 871323. So yeah, of course, that's for any other future events involving the Edge Cafe based in Cambridge. Calling on local crafters, we have store space available at our summer fair. They say, call me to reserve your pitch, which is a Gale 07848 871323. So yeah, free tickets are available for this event. So yeah, looking forward to it on the 5th of July. It's going to be massive, hopefully. Hopefully I'm able to get to it in the end. So what's on in June at the moment here? Thursdays with the Edge at Fulbourn. So International Conservation Group, that's 1:30 till 2:30 p.m. 5th and the 19th, and the Woolly Wonders Group, that's 1:30 till 3 p.m. 5th, 12th, and 19th and 26th of June 2025. All of this, by the way. And of course, the Creative Writing Group, 1:30 till 3 p.m. on the 12th. And Wellbeing Walk outdoors, 2 till 3 p.m. And of course, it's on the 26th of June. And all welcome, 16 plus, all free, just turn up. And that's the Fulbourn Resource Centre, Fulbourn Hospital, Cambridge, CB21SEF. So, yeah, Thursdays with the Edge at Fulbourn. Pleased to announce that twice a month they'll be hosting a series of groups open to all. You will have the opportunity to enjoy various activities such as arts and crafts, meditation, writing, walking, and much more. More info coming soon. That's Thursday, the 12th of June, 1:30 till 3 p.m. is the first. So, yeah, looking forward to that if you're able to go there. Hopefully, someone out there will be watching this and, of course, maybe able to attend. So, lots of things going on with the Edge because they have another one now at Fulbourn. And, of course, yeah, it'd be nice to actually visit it and check it out because I've never literally been there. A relaxed creative writing group where we can use prompts to inspire and share what you write if you wish. Materials provided and all are welcome. 16 plus, no experience needed. Tea and coffee available at the cafe, which is quite nice. So, yeah, be nice to check that out at some point. So, yeah, Women's Create and Chat, a free, friendly, supported group for all women. But the trouble is, of course, do they include men on that one? But they do, vice versa, with a men's group in Saffron Walden. They can include females as well. Enjoy creative activities, conversation, that is, and tea and cake. That's at the Edge Cafe, 351 Mill Road, Cambridge, CB1 3DF. And for more information, go at theedgecafe.com. And of course, the number once again is 07848 8 once more and 71323. And that's Mondays, 1:30 till 3 p.m. So, yeah, thank you very much for, of course, returning to us after the break here. And thank you very much to the only comment that has come throughout the whole show, from, of course, this guy here, Clive, who has been watching us throughout his time here and there. Clive Merchant or Marchant here. Have a fascinating evening. I'm sure I will do that honourable thing here. I will be going back onto TikTok and playing you some lovely tunes along the way for the nice and relaxing show for about an hour or so. But of course, there is some samples of that on this channel coming up very much in a moment. But what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm actually going to give you a bit of the word for today. Okay. So, yeah, help for the caregivers. So that is coming up in just a moment. So just a few more kind of things to mention in terms of the edge. Family and friends group, a confidential support for family and friends over the age of 18 and loved ones who are affected by alcohol and or substance use. Safe space to share experiences with each other and receive non-judgment support from those who understand. The Edge Cafe, once more, of course, I give you the address here. 351 Mill Road, Cambridge, CB1 3DF. And of course, yeah, that email for Gal is gal at theedgecambridge.com. And the number for her, if you need more information, 078 488 71323, and that's Mondays from 6:30 till 8 p.m. So yeah, it seems like a good group to go to, and of course, being a community journalist myself, I'd love to actually, of course, maybe interview someone regarding that, so that we can find out a little bit more information. And of course, there is a Tai Chi at the Edge as well. So yeah, that's on Friday. Online Women's Coffee Morning, Good Morning Cafe, online CT Tai Chi, recovery writing as well. And on Saturday, the 14th, meditation with Arletty. Sounds very good to go to. And of course, I'd love to find out a little bit more about the meditation kind of thing. And everyone welcome, unless women and men only group, um, you know, and over 16. So yeah, they only cater for their own sort of being there. So if it's men, and of course it's women, it's women. Only at the Edge Cafe, as far as we are aware. So sounds like, of course, they have strict rule on that at the Edge, which is unfortunate. But anyway, let's go to the website here. The website is coming up very shortly here. And of course, the Cambridge's Cafe is with a cause of compassion through community, which is great stuff here. And of course, you've got the Brookfields Recovery Hub, therapeutic groups and activities, and the vibrant community cafes, fabulous homemade food. So, of course, the Brookfields Food Hub tackling food poverty and food waste. So, yeah, there's a recovery hub as well to find out a little bit more about that. So, the food hub, of course, basically, the Brookfields opening times of the Edge Cafe. I just want to speak about that today. Monday to Saturday at 9 a.m. till 16 o'clock, which is 4 o'clock. And Food Hub open from, of course, which is a lot earlier than it used to be, because it used to be all day. And Monday to Saturday from 10 o'clock till 11:30. So, yeah, they close it at a certain time these days. And the site is, as we have said all the way, Brookfields Hospital site, 351 Mill Road, Cambridge, CB1 3DF. And contact details is 01223 212 478. And of course, yeah, the opening times of the Fulbourn one is 9 a.m. till 3 o'clock, and Wednesdays from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and from Saturdays 9 a.m. till 12:30. So it's quite early on Saturdays there. So yeah, slightly different for the Edge Cafe, and the Fulbourn Resource Centre is, of course, at Fulbourn Hospital site, and the contact details for that one is 07940 468 478. So there we are. Apparently, of course, the food hygiene rate, yeah, the hygiene rate is rated 5, which is fantastic. So, yeah, let's talk you about exactly about the Edge itself, if I can get the information up. Who we are, of course, we're going to say a little bit about them. Of course, the volunteers and peer mentors are valuable members of the team who give their time freely to ensure the Edge remains a vital community source, sharing their own experiences of their journey and in addiction or struggles with their mental health, offering a friendly face and a listening ear to those who require it. And of course, the staff who manage the Edge are Sarah, the cafe manager, and of course, Gail, the recovery hub manager, Clem, and Max, June, Martin, Debbie are all the cafe staff. So, of course, there is a mixture and different staff names than what I seem to remember. All the ones that I knew have seemed to have gone now. So, of course, you've got Clem, Ant, Max, June, Martin, Debbie. All of those are the cafe staff members now. The closer board, a mixture of staff volunteers and local community and partners who meet monthly and have input into the day-to-day running of the cafe itself. Should we have a barbecue? Is there more we can do? Are we making the most of what we have, etc.? And the directors who guide the Edge are very useful to know. Tom Jefford, business strategy, and Tracy Thompson, staff wellbeing and training, and Jeff Thornley, finances and IT, and Dan Thorpe, communications and media. So, yeah, you've got at least 4 people running the actual Edge now of Cambridge. So basically, there are 2 videos to find out a little bit about the Edge itself. So please do have a look at those videos. I will have a look, and of course, I will get back to you on that one. And of course, yes, it tells you a little bit about them. To achieve our vision, this is what they say, of a vibrant community hub for the people to be. We have the following, which is customers, you, and of course, volunteers and peer mentors and staff and closer board and directors that help keep the Edge of Mill Road, Cambridge going, and the one in Fulbourn as well, which I've not yet visited myself. I'd love to see it. But anyway, of course, it's now time to, of course, have a bit of music whilst I talk about this one. Shall I do the night driving again? Let's have a listen to this one here. All right, okay, of course. It is Help for the Caregivers. Yeah, Help for the Caregivers. Whenever I feel low, you are there to guide me. Psalm 142, number 3, CEV. One day you might end up caring for a sick or aging loved one, and to take care of them properly, you must learn to take care of yourself. Following her parents' deaths 5 weeks apart in a nursing home, 1,200 miles away, Beth Whitrogen McLeod succumbed to clinical depressions, or just depression there. By ignoring my physical and mental health, I set out myself a breakdown that would take 2 years to recover from. Despite its rewards, caregiving can be overwhelming, and David said, "Whenever I feel low, you are there to guide me." So if you're a caregiver, follow this. Number one, set your boundaries. Learn to say no where you routinely say yes. There's nothing selfish about taking care of yourself, so you can give the best possible care to someone else. And number two, be aware of harmful coping patterns, misusing medication, overreacting, drinking to take the edge off. You're human, and it can happen. And number three, don't isolate. Invite some friends over who have volunteered to help. One can cook and care for your loved one while you and the other friend take a walk. And number four, ask for help. If family members aren't pulling their weight, ladies and gentlemen, call a meeting and delegate responsibility. Don't deny others the blessing that comes from encouraging faint-hearted and helping the weak. See 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 to 14 NASB. And number five, okay? Protect your time. It's easy to schedule every minute with nothing left over for yourself. Don't do it. Find something that feeds you. Read, pray, exercise, enjoy some solitude. What's more, schedule it, or it won't happen. And that's Help for Carers from the United Christian Broadcasters. Word for today. Right now, it's time to go over to a little bit and a taster of my nice and relaxing show from Sunday. Yes, Sunday, the 8th of June 2025. Let's have a look at this. just absolutely well. I ask you just where else on the dial here. Good evening and, well, I would say good afternoon stroke evening, and welcome to your Sunday edition of a Nice and Relaxing Show with myself and Nick C here, and we partly share the nice and relaxing kind of music here, and I hope to put this video, if it's already on there, massive hello to you, and please do subscribe to the Nice and Relaxing Show on the YouTube channel. So yeah, we've got that as well. I'm beginning to sound like I'm in an echoed chamber there. So yeah, basically I've got some word for today to read here. I'll tell you what the songs or the hymns were a minute ago that you just heard. So I am not Mr. Don't Tell You What the Hymns Are, or the songs are, if you like, because I do play songs sometimes. So yeah, I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But of course, we've got the waiting strategy, of course, which is one of the next word for today, which is United Christian Broadcasters, basically. And of course, they are a radio station. They have 2 channels worth checking out, and based in Stoke-on-Trent, and written by Bob and Debbie Gass, which is a free kind of magazine, does it around the UK, and I just got given this by a burger store holder in Haverhill in Suffolk. So yeah, I'm a community journalist here. Welcome along, and thank you very much for that person that has sent me a rose just a minute ago as I was playing those beautiful tunes. So yeah, please do subscribe to, of course, the Nice and Relaxing Show, which is shared by myself, Giuliani Buzzbuzz, and myself, Nick C. And I'm the host and founder also of the Touring with Nick C channel as well on YouTube and on here as well. And don't forget, there is another channel to mention, which is Nick C and Nicole's Adventures. We return with that as well, which also has a YouTube channel attached to that as well. So not only we are on TikTok, but of course Nick C and Nicole's Adventures is also on TikTok and YouTube. And of course, notably, we are also on X, which is formerly Twitter as well. We're always posting up different pictures and going to keep updating that as well. We're also on Instagram, and there's just so many to mention. But of course, yeah, do kind of come along wherever you see us, whether it's here or another platform. It really, really doesn't matter. So the waiting strategy will be what I'll be reading very, very soon. It's just one big segment of the words taken from the famous book, which anyone can actually take pieces from and put it in their own way. So yeah, you got the New Testament and Old Testament, but of course we have got this book which is purely amazing to read, and of course you can make of it what you will. You can just enjoy the words that I actually read from it. So yes, going back to the songs, well, there was one song that I kicked off today with, which was Kumbaya a Dance. Well, of course, I actually changed that because it is an out of copyright tune. So, of course, Kumbaya, anyone can actually do their own remix of it, basically. But you can't actually do the song and call it your own. Like, of course, if someone was to do a When the Saints Go Marching In, or God Save the Queen, or King, as they call it, you can't actually use that as your own song because it wasn't your song. But it's definitely out of copyright. Anyone can use it and do an arrangement underneath, that kind of thing. There's so many people out there trying to sort of do a song which is way out of copyright, and they are sort of seeming to use it as their own. So anyway, of course, Kumbaya was one of them, which is chanted at football matches. And of course, Dear Lord, the Father of Mankind, we may play that in another instrument format a little bit later on, and I could use this one. Yeah, I'm quite happy that the note, which is this one here, is actually working to a degree today, which is good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it is going to be hit and miss. So, of course, if it's not working, during my tunes that I play. I do apologise about that. So massive hello to anyone watching here on a Sunday, which is absolutely amazing. Doomy 5 could well be the nominated the star of the show tonight. So yeah, or actually this evening or this afternoon, whatever you like to call it. And I'm glad the sunshine is coming out now. So if you're watching on the if you're watching on the replay, massive hello to you. And of course, this show's usually about an hour or so, and hopefully, of course, I'll be able to put this on the Nice and Relaxing show for you all to watch again if you miss anything that, of course, is in the live. So, yeah, Dear Lord of Father Mankind, definitely out of copyright tune. And, of course, yeah, Kumbaya was the other one here. I'm going to play you some other tunes as well. And hopefully, of course, we will have the return of the Nice and Relaxing main host of Giuliani Buzz playing some tunes out there. Hopefully, that'll be, of course, well worth getting excited about. Well, we'll have to wait and see if he's prepared to play about an hour of tunes later on this evening back in the organ loft room. Well, I call it the organ room, actually. But, yeah, one of his organs is actually not working at the back, but we always say that each time that he does his live. But, unfortunately, it's just the case that, of course, his kind of, I would say, organ, he does have a copy of when it was working, but, unfortunately, it's just no use to him. It was dumped on him, and, of course, yeah. No one's able to fix it. It's too unfixable. It's not playable, basically. It switches on, but of course, yeah, there's only the light that switches on, and there's no sound. And there was a buzzing note for about an hour, and then it went completely off. So that was a bit odd and very strange. So anyway, of course, we're going to carry on with the show here. And, of course, please do spread the word about this show, which of course will last about an hour or so. I'm going to actually see how long I've got left on the show here. It's 5:41 now. So yeah, I'll just double check. We've been going for 13 minutes so far. The show does go very, very quick here. I have to say that. So yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, let's continue with the show now, and we're going to do a little bit more of a different beat now. Move it on to another beat. Sort of wind down the tempo a little bit. Yeah, okay. Yes, let's get the mic up here. And of course, yes, we've had some comments here saying my music was not completely of your standard. If you do not like it, do not go on the channel. Very simple as that. So, yeah, Kieran is absolutely spot on with that. Johnny, what are you talking about? I don't know. Maybe he's off his rocker. I don't know. But of course, yeah, there's plenty of places for that sort of guy there. So we should actually carry on with the show there. There was actually some really, really nice tunes in there. Obviously, of course, some nice little instrument. Well, just one instrument I was using. And of course, you can hear that lovely echo there. And of course, it was Give Me Joy in My Heart there. And of course, we were playing you my own composition of Piano Love. How beautiful is that? So, Kieran, thank you very much for your nice comment there. And of course, we had to get rid of and ban that other guy who seemed to be a scammer, just wanting to complain. Anyway, of course, sorry about that. If anyone's watching on another platform, this is not what we tolerate here. Of course, they get banned if they are here to cause trouble, and it could be someone wanting to stir trouble. But you just bar them if you don't, of course, agree with the opinion. Well, in that sense, well, of course, they shouldn't be saying something like that, They shouldn't even be commenting on that, really. It's just, if you're going to do that, do it on an individual base, not on a public base where everybody can see it like a stage. But anyway, of course, that is the social media for you these days, and we just totally ignore it. So, yeah, thanks to the star of the show, which could be the star of the show this evening. And, of course, we look forward to announcing that at the end of the programme. So, we're now going to be talking about the waiting strategy. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. When you go up against a problem that seems too big for you, or feel like you are in over your head, and you don't know what to do or which way to go, use the waiting strategy. That's the one David, the pharmacist, used. So the pharmacist, actually, not the pharmacist. And it worked for him. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my steps. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Blessed is that man who makes the Lord his trust. My ears you have opened. VV chapter 1 to 4, 6 NKJV. Waiting is hard to do when you are anxious. And waiting patiently is even harder. Stop and think who you are waiting for. The Lord. He is Lord of every situation, including yours. Perhaps this illustration will help you. Arthur McKinsey writes, if you think of a problem as being like a medieval walled city, then a lot of people will attack it head on. Like battering ram. Is it ram? Yeah. They will storm the gates and try to smash through the defences with sheer intellectual power and brilliance. Just camp outside the city. I wait and I think. Until one day, maybe after I turned to a complete different problem, the drawbridge comes down and the defenders say, "We surrender." The answer to the problem comes all at once. Waiting for God to work is that way. While you are waiting, he is working on your behalf. Absolutely brilliant, sir. I hope that everyone is enjoying that one. And of course, that's the waiting strategy. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. Brilliant words from the waiting strategy, from the word for today, United Christian Broadcasters. And that came from Tuesday, the 24th of June, 2025, which is coming up, actually. But, of course, if you're watching and listening in the future, obviously it'll be obsolete. And hello to, of course, I was going to say Panda there, who is in the chat as well. And thank you very much for joining us here. Yes, Martha is in the chat. Martha Spanner Brain number 1. Well, hello everybody from my time here, and of course my date, which will be Tuesday the 10th of June 2025 here. We are going to cross over to, of course, the George Hotel, where, of course, Giuliani Buzz actually showed you around his room, and hopefully we'll get that room in the future. But yeah, without knocking over the microphone. But yeah, sorry about that sound. But anyway, of course, I'd like to go straight to that video here. And Giuliani Buzz from the Nice and Relaxing Show does introduce the actual kind of video. And he shows you around his room at the St. George Hotel in Great Yarmouth. Watch this. I've left it to Giuliani Buzz, who has now arrived at this hotel of the St. George Hotel. It is Monday, the 19th of May, 2025. Welcome to this hotel, St. George's Hotel. This room is number 3. Kind of a family room, really. So we have a cupboard and a fridge. We're still waiting for a microwave oven as yet. So we do have a bathroom down there on the right hand side. So you're going to put the microwave around about there? Is that what's the plan is? As far as we can. We do have a TV, but the signal is a bit dodged at the moment on some channel, so as you can see. It's supposed to be GB News, but of course it's gone completely blank. Berserk. A scruffy left hairdryer. Well, it might be alright. Looks a bit alright, sort of thing, you know. Yeah. It's okay. We do have the bathroom, we do have a chest of drawers. We do have 2 windows. Yeah, that's your bathroom. Do you want to show us the bathroom? Quickly show the bathroom. You have the bathroom here. We have toilet rolls here. We have cups here. Towels. The sink's just there. That's what you're using for your cat right at the moment, isn't it? That little thing there. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. If you want some little soaps there, so just there. And we got a little shower there, so I mean. Do you know how to work it? Well, probably you just twist it around. Using what though? You can. Well, you have the handle. Which one's hot and which one's cold? We'll tell you before we shove it over there. So. Right, you got. Right, that's how you do it. And caution hot water, by the way. Right, yes. So that's the closest and the wardrobe there. We've got a man out there having a cigarette. I think that's the garden over there. Have you seen the view? Yes, what's there? Looking at what's there. Okay. And you've got a couple of plug sockets there, which is quite useful to know. You don't have a Bible in here. You don't have a radio like I did in the other hotel. No. You don't have USB. You don't have a fan either. No. Okay. And you've got chest of drawers where you put your clothes there. You have one's dangling out there. And that's where I'd put a laptop if I was going to use one. I was going to use it there. But of course, I have to wait and see what my hotel's like, because I'm only temporary staying here, but actually not sleeping here. Temporary staying, but not sleeping. So luckily you're downstairs here and not having to climb the lift, because he knew that I was climbing the lift last time. So maybe he thought that we were together or something like that and coming back. But I've got my little tea, I put it down there, and you've got yours as well. Thanks for the tea, by the way. Martin Dewberry it's supposed to be, but I think you might have to change the channel. Yeah, you might have to change the channel. What did you say about milk?
Well, I need some milk, so I should have got my lot of it.
Oh, I thought you was going to get some yourself. But there is a convenience store just down the road, London's it's called. Is there anything else to add?
That's it.
Oh yeah, the paintings on the wall. It's not a lot to see, but...
It's not so grubby.
No, it's not so grubby. It's very tidy in here.
Yeah, but apart from the ceiling's okay.
Well, what's wrong with the ceiling?
Nothing here. It's a bit dirty.
And of course, what about the light switch? Can you demonstrate that very quickly? And that will do us, I think. Looks like there was an old fireplace there.
Yeah, that's on.
Do it again, so we can see that. Yeah, because I may not be able to do that later. Okay, cool. It does work. And that's the smoke alarm up there, right the way up the top there. That's why they don't advise any smoking in the room or vaping.
No,
in the previous hotel, they did the same rules.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, in the previous hotel, I had ID. You didn't even have one ID check, did you? All right, thank you very much, Julian.
Okay.
And yeah, this has been your room. Hope you enjoy it for the night.
Absolutely.
Wow, it would be staying more than the night. It would be right away until Friday.
Friday. Oh.
I wish I was here, but of course, I wish I was here. But yeah, you don't get an outside swimming pool, unfortunately.
Okay, thanks very much for watching this video, and till next time, depending which room I am in next, it's going to be potluck anything. He's got valuable and what he hasn't got valuable.
That was just the buzz from the reception, by the way, if you heard that in the background. And of course, that means, of course, the guy's not on the reception. That means he has to come to the reception. He's not always present. All right, okay. Don't forget to subscribe and share the stream wherever possible, wherever you're watching. Thank you, Julian.
Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the highlights of this video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now. Peace out. God bless. So, to summarise that, I actually was in the room of room number 3, as Julian is pointing towards the actual, yeah, I'm zooming in now, which is the hairdryer there. He said it was a grubby one, but of course, I didn't think it was actually that grubby myself. But of course, yeah, he's pointing out towards the 2 windows that he had in the room as well, next to the closet, which is the wardrobe, and the doorway to the bathroom was just there. And lovely painting on that wall, which we forgot to mention actually. But of course, yeah, he shows you through the actual shower room here. At this point, of course, he was struggling to walk because he had a foot issue at the time here, and he needed to sit down after a while to be able to, of course, rest up his feet, because you could see he was basically struggling to stand up. But of course, yeah, had he taken the tablets that would make that disappear, none of this probably would have happened. But of course, never mind about that. It is what it was. So he's showing you the shower there, lifting it up and down there, and caution, very, very hot water. And you can get about 2 people in it, I remember him saying. Yeah, I think, yeah, just about 2 thin people in there. You can see it's got, of course, other beds in there which could be useful. And there was a guy doing some work outside there. Don't know what he was doing, but of course, gorgeous garden, by the way. I think it's a smoker's garden. And of course, yes, Julian's looking at the sea view. I said at the time, seen the view? And he said no. So yeah, unfortunately, of course, although of course we did have access to power with, of course, charging your phones and all that kind of thing, and you got the black kettle there, and a place where you can actually put your laptop over there. Although, of course, we had all that, the TV was up and down. The signal wasn't very good for GB News in particular, but of course, yeah, it does show that a lot of times in this video. So I'm giving you a summarization of what it was like here. Julian's enjoying his cup of tea. He's trying to, of course, overcome that nasty foot injury that he had. Um, Not that he was playing football or anything like that, but suddenly it just came on. It was quite weird. And my cup of tea was actually on the floor. And of course, some people think, of course, I might have knocked that over. You can see how squidgy the picture was. And it was a Sony TV, by the way. And lovely paintings around the room here. And this is room number 3, situated on the bottom floor of the St George Hotel. Hopefully, you might get that one at some point if it's available. It all depends if he would actually upgrade us to this kind of room. And of course, Julian's itching man to finish up. I can see he's on the agitated side because, you know, he had a bit of a suffer of his foot. I'm not going to mention that again in the video because, you know, I don't think it's fair to actually talk too much about that. And as you can see, the lovely paintings, as I was just talking about, and the fridge just right on the corner there. And it's always nice to have that. And you can get that special milk that Lakeland produce. And the only shop that actually does it is round the corner of where the St George's Hotel is. And Julian's demonstrating the light here. Although, of course, he didn't get a night version of it because I wasn't actually in the room. It was just only him staying a few nights here, and that's the smoke along there. And of course, something where you could actually put your kettle there. You can see the black kettle there, and of course, they do give you coffee and tea as well. By the way, I just thought I'd mention that as well. And Julian's trying to relax with his cup of tea. I don't blame him after suffering when he was there. Sorry, I mentioned it again, but of course, no, it's not nice to actually suffer that, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen again. And of course, yeah, we should sort of forget that sort of moment when, of course, that thing occurred. But of course, yes, yeah, would you actually stay here yourself? The cost is around about £36 per night. So if you fancied coming here to check it out, feel free to come over. You can actually book on booking.com and you can go to the reception and book there and then on the day. And of course, yes, yeah, he prefers to do it there and then on the day or on booking.com if they give you a special offer. Right, okay. I hope you enjoyed the video and the summarization on the narration note. So my many thanks to Giuliani Buzzbuzz, who actually is named Julian Clouds, but of course Giuliani Buzzbuzz is for the Nice and Relaxing Show. So yeah, we sort of like share it, so it's either Nick C and Giuliani Buzzbuzz. So yeah, it's a bit of both really. And sometimes I present the show, and sometimes, of course, Giuliani Buzzbuzz just plays the music, as he can do on occasional times. But yeah, if you want to hear some of his stuff, go to his channel of Nice and Relaxing. And then, of course, yes, basically you can hear some of the past stuff and the present, if there is any present stuff. But hopefully he does do some latest stuff as well. But yeah, to summarize that room, in my total honesty, it is not bad, even though it doesn't have a fan or anything like that. It did have a fridge. He had to go round, of course, the corridor if he wanted to use the microwave, and he did use it in the end. So yeah, if there's no microwave in the room, And the best thing to do, if it's not in the room, I'm talking about the microwave here, then just go into the main restaurant because there is a spare one there. Obviously, you're not going to lift that one up unless you have permission to do so. But anyway, of course, yeah, overall, apart from the TV going a little bit squidgy, the shower looked great, and of course, I do hope to get that room when I book next time. But of course, yeah, it'd be a lot easier than taking your stuff up in the upper floors. So anyway, of course, I would leave that racing through your mind. But of course, thank you very much indeed, and make sure you subscribe. And my many thanks to Giuliani Buzzbuzz, known as Julian Klaus. We'll see you next time, hopefully.